What up, Jippers? Plays back, and today we're going to be talking about The Outer Worlds, a new single-player first-person sci-fi RPG from Obsidian Entertainment and Private Division. Obsidian, as in the original Fallout creators and developers of Fallout New Vegas. The game uses Unreal Engine 4, has been in development since 2016 with a release set for sometime in 2019 on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Now, Obsidian are known for making amazing RPG games, so of course, when they recently unveiled The Outer Worlds, which most people are already calling Fallout in Space, or the Starfield before Starfield, you can imagine it has picked up quite a lot of interest, especially with the developers' links to what are often regarded as the best parts of the Fallout series, and with the timing of the release being right at the point when the world seems to be desperately hoping for a better Fallout experience. With many people unhappy with Bethesda and the launch of Fallout 76, a game which I do still plan to play anyway despite the backlash. The moment to unveil a game like this was very much now, and I have to say it looks pretty freaking impressive. So first off, the comparison to Fallout games is absolutely a fair one. It certainly has a similar aesthetic and feel to it, but it looks like it's going to be more polished with better textures, lighting, graphical fidelity, as well as a far more vibrant and lively color palette. I cannot stress that enough. Everything that we're seeing from these trailers, from this gameplay, makes this world and these environments look far more vibrant than what we would expect from your typical post-apocalyptic sci-fi game. It looks stunning. Now let's take a look at the game's description and some of the key features that are being marketed for the game on the new Steam page. In the Outer Worlds, you awake from hibernation on a colonist ship that was lost in transit to Hakleon, the furthest colony from Earth, located at the edge of the galaxy, only to find yourself in the midst of a deep conspiracy threatening to destroy it. As you explore the furthest reaches of space and encounter various factions, all vying for power, the character you decide to become will determine how this player-driven story unfolds. In the corporate equation for the colony, you are the unplanned variable. And now, of course, some of the key features. How you approach the Outer Worlds is up to you. Your choices affect not only the way the story develops, but your character build, companion stories, and endgame scenarios. So that, straight off the bat, very, very exciting to see. Real player choice, genuine consequences, the things we choose to do, the way we choose to approach missions, dialogue, stories within the game, all of that will be individual to us. It will let us roleplay properly and it will affect the game. So that straight away sounds really freaking cool. Now this next thing is also really interesting. It says you can be flawed but in a good way. While playing, the game tracks your experience to find what you aren't particularly good at. Keep getting attacked by raptidons? Taking the raptophobia flaw gives you a debuff when confronting the vicious creatures, but rewards you with an additional character perk immediately. So this is pretty cool. It's something I haven't really seen in another RPG game, but essentially the way this is going to work from what I'm seeing here and reading sounds like it's going to make our characters really unique and have their own personalities and kind of story alongside them. So if I'm playing the game and I keep doing one silly thing, or I'm particularly bad at fighting a particular type of enemy, I'm going to get like a little perk or a buff or an effect that mimics that and reflects that and kind of makes that an actual part of the in-game lore and story of my character. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, but it sounds really interesting. Now the next thing on here is lead your companions. During your journey through the furthest colony, you will meet a host of characters who will want to join your crew. Armed with unique abilities, these companions all have their own missions, motives, and ideals. It's up to you to help them achieve their goals or turn them to your own ends. Of course, this is the companion system, something that anyone who is a fan of the Fallout series will be familiar with. Cool to see it here. It'll be interesting to see if it's developed further or how interactive or how important these companion characters will end up being in the game. But that definitely is something that sounds exciting too. Now the next one is probably the one that I'm most excited about because of course this game, while there is some similarity to Fallout, is actually set in space, which is one of the most exciting things for me. And it says, find your ship, build your crew, and explore the settlements, space stations, and other intriguing locations. So there will be spaceships, you will be able to build your crew. I think from what I've read that the spaceships are customizable and that there will be ship combat too. And all of that just sounds freaking awesome. So yes, so much yes on that one. I cannot wait to see more of it. And I guess that gives us a pretty good idea of what to expect from the Outer Worlds, and we also know from the gameplay reveal and the footage that I'm showing on screen that the player character is not voiced, and the game does use the classic text-based dialogue with the options, with the choices of what you can say and how you respond, and these are impacted by your skill stats and the attributes that your player has. That, of course, is something that fans of the Fallout series were also really unhappy with in the more recent Fallout games. They'd taken that away, they'd taken a lot of that choice and the dialogue options away and kind of dumbed it down a bit. This very much seems to be harkening back to that classic style that people know and love. So that, of course, is another really good thing. Everything here is adding up to make this sound like a really great RPG. Now, we also know that missions will be approachable in multiple different ways, so not only will we have dialogue choices and the things that we do in the game will change how the game can end, but we will have, for every single mission, multiple different approaches and angles that we could take. So it's going to have your typical combat, shoot your way through, try and talk and persuade your way through, use charisma, that kind of stuff, or of course try and take a sneaky stealth route. All of those options, and probably more in some cases, are going to be possible in this game for every mission that you interact with. It really does seem like it's going to be one heck of a game. It sort of has a Fallout mix with BioShock and Borderlands type vibe to it, with all of the classic sci-fi RPG goodness, player choice and freedom, loads of different environments to explore, things to find, NPCs and side quests to interact with, and of course, it's set in space, which is always awesome. Now, in terms of the scale of the game, it looks like the environments are all fairly good sizes, but of course, this is a smaller team. It's not thousands of people in the development team. It's not a mega studio, so do expect that there are going to be loading times or cutscenes in between different areas, rather than it being one absolutely huge open world or one fully open universe. We know that there are multiple planets. We will be able to explore different planets in the game. As a minimum, there will be more than 2 from what we already know. I expect there'll be a couple more than that, and we also know there are going to be all kinds of crazy sci-fi enemies and monsters to face off against, as well as a whole host of different weapons with light, medium, and heavy ammo, as well as melee combat, energy swords, and even elemental mods that can be used to customize weapons. There's a lot going on here, and all of it is good. There's also another little great detail that came out. This was revealed by a PC Gamer article, and I'll link that below so that you can read it for yourself. And that's that players really will have a ton of freedom in the game, not only with the dialogue, the missions, the endings of the game changing, the character stats and perks and stories, but even from the very beginning of the game, as soon as you get your first ship, if you don't want to do the main story, you can just fly off, wander off in the world, and do whatever the heck you want and completely ignore the story and just explore at your own pace. So that kind of freedom is something that RPG fans really appreciate, and it's something I'm really happy to see coming to this game. All in all, the Outer Worlds looks set to warp onto the scene next year and steal the show in the sci-fi RPG genre. I'm sure there will be a few more surprises yet as well, so this is definitely 100% one to keep your eye on and stay tuned for. And I really do never like to see a game or a developer not do so well, because to me, this entire hobby, the whole of gaming, the whole point of that is to have fun. But if you are a Fallout fan, if you're anyone watching this who feels like they've been burnt by Fallout at the moment, I hope seeing this and hearing about the Outer Worlds gives you something new to be excited about again. And of course, more competition in the genre can only be a good thing for gamers, so let's hope Bethesda are watching this one too. Just want to give a very big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. It honestly feels freaking amazing to know that there are people out there that believe in what I do and think it's good enough to support me that extra step. So a huge thank you to Anakey, Dale from the Atlas Hub, David D, DeadDerezzer, Forgotten Stoner, Heath, HusbandVader, Jeremy J, Johannes A, Jtecnique, Kyle Culver, Lukash M, Foraday, Madeline J, Malindog, Mark F, Mark D, Mingrui, Neil B, NTB, Ongrad, Autumn Long, Paul Lawson, Rasmus K, Russell H, Shirokumajelly, Wise Gek G, the Golden Gek, the Portrait Dude, Todd C, Todd H, TyTheBlazer, Vanella, and Varuna. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.